My name is McKenzie. I'm the communications manager at Health Impact Ohio. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, including your name, what agency you work for, and how long you've been at CHW.
Sure. My name is Jona Gwinn, previously known as Johnson. I work with PrimaryOne Health. I work with their young adult and adult program case manager, the Hub Pathways program. I became a CHW, oh boy, back in like the summer of 2020, I want to say, through the OSU program.
Beautiful. What inspired you to become a CHW?
Honestly, so I had graduated from Ohio Christian University like May 2019, and I had been in school like my entire life. So really it was being bored. It was being bored and not being in school. I love learning. I love being educated. So I kind of like grew too content, I guess you can say. And I just needed something to do. And I was like, well, why not go back to school for something? But at the time I couldn't. So I was like, well, I'll just find something to do. And I had literally came across the OSU CHW program and I was like, I think that's it. It sounds like it's something helping people. So honestly, being bored and not being in school is what inspired me to become a CHW.
Okay. And how did you hear about what a CHW was?
I had never heard of it before. Well, I guess in other terms, I've heard of it. So like I hadn't specifically heard of the term CHW, but under the other terms like community care coordinator and, case management work, things like that, work that I've already done. But I didn't know that you could have a certificate for something like that. So once I signed up for the program, that's when I learned more about what it actually entailed. So
cool. And what does being a CHW mean to you?
It means everything. I've always had a passion for helping people. I've always had a passion for just like kind of being that hope for people and being that voice for people and just helping people out with their everyday life stress and struggles. So it means a lot to me. It means that I can continue to do what I love to do and, continue to be educated on a daily basis and build relationships and, help my community.
That's beautiful. And what is your favorite part of your job?
Ooh, the favorite. I have so many, but I would have to say it's probably hearing the success stories of my clients. This work can be very challenging. It can be very difficult, but I love hearing the success stories of my clients when they get a job, when they get a home, when they just feel so much better than what they felt before I came into the picture. So I would say just the success of, just my clients achieving their dreams and their goals is my favorite part about the job.
Beautiful. And what's one thing or one aspect of your work that you wish people understood?
I would have to say that it would be understanding that I'm not perfect. Or like I don't have all the answers.
Right.
And I say that because I think a lot of the times when people get an understanding of what it is that I do or what we as CHWs do, it's almost as if it's assumed that we have the answers to everything, right? But we really don't. We are learning every day, just like everyone else, about what resources are out there, what's being offered as far as help and support. So I think that would be how I would answer that, is just getting people to understand, like, look, I do not have all the answers. I wish I did, but unfortunately I don't. I don't tell my clients that, of course, like, hey, I don't know, you know what I mean? But I would, say, hey, you know what? I'm going to have to check into that because I haven't hit on that, or I don't have experience in that. So I just think it's more so just, letting people know, like, look, I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers, but I will definitely go and find you an answer if that's what it takes. So,
right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And sometimes that's like half the battle, trying to figure out what
it is.
Sometimes you don't know what you need.
There's always something new. There's always something new as a CHW. I mean, there are so many resources out there that, I wish I had them all. I wish I had them all written down on my wall and I could just point and say, call this number and call that number. But unfortunately, the world changes life changes, things happen. So I think it's just, like I said, just more so being like, hey, look, I don't have the answers to everything. I wish I did, but I would definitely help you find a solution, help you find an answer. And that helps me too at the CHW. That helps me to know more and to grow more knowledgeable on what's out there and what's being offered to help my clients. So
definitely. And the resources are also
yeah,
all constantly changing,
they're
updated.
constantly changing every second. Every second they're constantly changing. Definitely. Yeah.
Beautiful. And how does your work as a CHW impact your community or the community that you serve?
I would say that the work that I do, I would say that it assures people that like there is help and support out there. Like I said, just being a CHW in and of itself means so much to so many people, depending on how you explain it to them. Like a lot of people don't know what a CHW is. So I have to kind of explain like what it is that I do. Like, look, it's kind of like case management, like I will help you, get linked with resources and, things that are in your community. So I think just reassuring my clients of like, look, there's some hope out there, there's some support out there, there's help out there, especially those who haven't utilized it before, people who don't have any family, who don't have any friends, who don't even know where to begin when it comes to asking for help or figuring out where to even go. That's huge to me, is knowing that I can provide that kind of support, that kind of help. I don't hold hands, but I do like to encourage and say, hey, look, you got this, I'll help you figure this out. We can do it together. You know what I mean? So I definitely think that has had the most impact, is just having that reassurance of like, okay, look, there's help out there. There's hope. This isn't it. There's something out there that can help you in this issue. It might not be like tomorrow, today, but there's something out there that can help you through, these challenges and barriers.
Good. And have you done any work surrounding COVID?
As far as like educating, well, I guess, yeah. So outside of just educating my clients on, COVID and protocols and, the importance of, being vaccinated and everything surrounding that. Outside of education, I would say, yeah. Like I said, just keeping the awareness there of, what it is, how it affects our community. We talk about, vaccines and, things like that. Just staying safe, practicing social distance and washing your hands. And it's really amazing how this whole thing has brought about like hand washing and sanitizing. It's like, we should have already been doing this, right? We should have already been washing our hands. We should have already been sanitizing our hands. But I think it has brought a lot of awareness to people, like, okay, maybe I'm not as clean as I thought I was, or,
Right.
Maybe I don't wash my hands and sanitize as often as I probably should have been doing before COVID. But I think just bringing that awareness, to ourselves and to the clients, and, and just even like still being a CHW, like doing work through COVID has been difficult. It has been challenging for CHWs because a lot of the places are still shut down. You can't just walk inside of certain places anymore. You have to make phone calls and get hung up on and call back 3 times or 4 times and wait on hold for an hour. So I think just, outside of the education piece, just still being able to provide the resources and provide the help to the clients. Okay, like, look, I'll help you make a phone call. Let's do this together. I'll try to send an email. So working with clients through COVID has been a challenge, but rewarding at the same time, because we as CHWs kind of have some kind of power, to say, hey, look, I'm advocating for this client. This client could really use some urgent help. This is what we're going to do, so definitely doing the work around COVID has been a challenge, but rewarding at the same time. Still being able to go to food pantries for clients, still being able to go out and about in the community as a community health worker, and, still, pick up applications and drop them off, or, pick up food, diapers, wipes, clothing items, just, still being able to be in a position to where we could still help is really great.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And finally, would you mind sharing a story about a client that you've worked with that either resonated with you, stuck with you, maybe was a
Oh,
challenge?
yeah. Absolutely. I will use one of my success stories. So I had a client, let's see, it's March, maybe like fall of last year.
Okay.
Um, Maybe I would say like August or September. I got a referral for this client who literally all she needed was like some encouragement. So she had came in and she just didn't know where to start. She didn't know how to start writing anything down, what to do first.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe she needed assistance with like rent, utilities, maybe getting her food benefits renewed. And she was already working, but she had like some health challenges
Mm-hmm.
that kind of like limit her, ability to go to work. So we were able to get her some resources for rent help, utility help. She even needed help with like making her car payments. And I just so happened to have a resource for this lady through OSU. I can't remember what the name of the program is called, but they have a program that assists families with like financially.
Mm-hmm.
So she was able to get help with like her car payment for like 3 months. She was able to get help with her rent for like 4 months from a program that I didn't even know about until I started researching for her. She was able to get some utility help. I was able to get her set up with other resources that could provide like hygiene items and like everyday essential items. And she pretty much literally just needed like a voice in her ear of just like encouragement and hope, like, okay, look, this is what we're going to do first. Then we're going to do this. Don't worry about doing everything in one day. Let's just, pace it out, do one thing at a time. And that's literally all it literally took like 45 days, maybe 60, but it just was like the daily reminders or just like the weekly reminders of like, hey, don't forget to call, don't forget to reach out. Here's the number if you need it again. And I mean, just like that, she just was like, thank you so much. Like, wow, I didn't know. I thought it was just someone push me and just tell me what to do. And I'm like, well, you did it on your own, but you did have that, little voice. You had that little voice of me just kind of calling and texting and saying, hey, look, don't forget to do this. Don't forget. So that was huge. Those stories mean a lot when everyone else is kind of like, this hasn't got done. This hasn't got done. I need this. I need that. Just hearing the words, thank you so much. It goes a long way at the CHW because you know that you had a part in helping that client achieve their goals, meet deadlines, get it done, and like, hey, look, I'm good. I'm in a position now where, I'm good. I got this number, I got that number. I know how to do it. I know how to call. I know how to utilize this resource. That's what it's all about. And that's what happened. And it made me so proud to this day. That is probably the highlight, the highlight of being a CHW at PrimaryOne Health is that story because I just was like, wow, like I really helped someone. Like that meant a lot.
Yeah. And
So
that, like, even
definitely.
though they're small steps, that can be really life-changing.
Yeah. It's like, wow, I did make a difference today. Like that was huge. So that's my story for now.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Um,
Yeah.
and thank you so much for meeting with me today. It's been a pleasure meeting with you.
It has been a pleasure on this end as well. Thank you.